Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 6th of February for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout features to look out for, but please stay with me. As usual, I will dive deep to give you each of the 12 zodiac signs in forensic detail from Aries through to Pisces. Now this week begins with the potency of the full moon, which occurred at the end of last week, still reverberating through the heavens, particularly because the Sun and Uranus are in a tense right angle on Monday and Tuesday too. So anything to do with time management, whether it's around our social situation, our friendships, the things we want to do that are more creative for ourselves, there could be some disruption, last minute changes of plan, or some costs. However, on Tuesday, a really seminal event occurs because Mercury comes out of its post-retrograde shadow. It went into its pre-retrograde shadow on the 12th of December. Now, of course, it came out of the retrograde itself on the 18th of January. But if things have been a bit sluggish or you've been waiting for some information, Mercury goes on to combine with Pluto this week. And there could be a very important development around a worldly matter, such as a job application, a business a scenario, or perhaps to do with a goal or ambition. But then Mercury makes the transition into the sign of Aquarius, and that occurs on Saturday. And that's also really important because Mercury sparkles in Aquarius because it's a planet that's exalted in this sign. So, of course, Aquarius energy is very outgoing. It's very much to do with networking and friendships. So if we start this week feeling a little bit pulled around and a bit disorientated, by the end of the week, I think Mercury can help us to get things a little clearer. Now, also this week, from Monday through to Friday, Venus is in an energizing link with Uranus. Now, Venus in the sign of Pisces is a very mysterious influence, exalted, of course, itself. But this is provoking us to try something different or to surprise someone we're interested in, or even surprise our partner by doing something that's fresh and stimulating, because that can bring some magic to a relationship. But equally, it's an opportunity to think outside the box when it comes to our financial situation. Now, just to tell you, the two planets of fortune, Venus and Jupiter, the lesser and the greater benefit, from Monday to Friday are in a semi-sextile. So Jupiter in Aries is very much about initiative in the first house, and of course Venus in the 12th could be about the things we do behind the scenes, or it could be that some kind of benefit or piece of good fortune can be linked to a past good deed. So something can evolve quietly but rather pleasingly in the background of this week. Now, if you are a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to my channel, it's great to have you with me. Please like or comment. I interact with all comments. This is very much a community. Or subscribe. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what the next year holds for you personally, if you give me 3 pieces of personal data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast, but also my special package of 30% off, your life roadmap, which can help you to become more intimate with some of the planetary influences that have been aiding but perhaps even hindering you at times. Please see the link beneath this video. You can also get your zodiac, Vedic and Chinese forecast for the next year completely free. So Taurus, your week commencing the 6th of February forecast really is that classic work-life balance dilemma. We have all these labour-saving devices these days. We have a lot of technology which is said to help us, but we always seem to be pinched for time. Maybe it is because we try to cram in too much, but with Uranus in the mix, it's a very restless but enlivening energy, and it is really asking you some serious questions about what you want from your home, emotional and personal situation, and what you're trying to achieve more professionally. And perhaps if you are spreading yourself a little bit too thin, spinning too many of those proverbial celestial plates, the energy between the Sun and Uranus in the early part of this week could be provoking you to look again at a situation with a fresh pair of eyes, because Uranus at the end of the day is very much about truthfulness, but it's also very important that things feel authentic for you. So for you, it feels like you're engaged by whatever is distracting you. So if you're caught up in doing things that you don't find very satisfying or very fulfilling, maybe you need to realign things a little bit. Now, of course, communication is so important in our modern world, not least because of all the aforementioned technology, but Mercury coming out of its post-retrograde shadow on Tuesday is definitely one to appreciate. And if you have felt since December the 12th that you've done a lot of investigating, researching, communicating, perhaps you've turned the Mercury retrograde season very much to your advantage in that you've dug deep. You know, it's said that Mercury can be linked to the underworld in some ways, the retrograde areas. So perhaps you've gained a lot of knowledge that's helped you to understand some truths around your situation, or some techniques that have given you a platform to expand. But I feel that this week, as Mercury goes alongside Pluto, there could be a very serious conversation that you're about to have. And it may be about knowledge. Perhaps you're going to scrutinise your knowledge base and think, look, could I learn some more? And with Mercury then gliding into the sign of Aquarius on Saturday, for some Tauran people, this could be a chance to apply for a course, or if you're in a bigger business, ask if there is some on-the-job training that you could take part in. Or is there an opportunity to reskill completely and try something afresh? Because the Mercury combination with Pluto in the 9th house could give you a desire to experiment. But of course, Venus is in your sector of friendship and forges a dazzling alliance with Uranus. So this is a much more helpful angle, but it is asking you to be very open to completely different people or very fresh approaches. And that means letting go of some of your preference of doing things that give you a sense of familiarity, because that feeds your sense of security. So when it comes to your social situation, maybe this is a chance to accept that last minute unexpected invitation. Or, you know, if you're into technology, perhaps that is a route to meeting someone or having a date, or even going on a meetup, you know, where it's people with shared interest and go and do something that they all enjoy. And I think that's a lovely thing, because obviously it's very Aquarian and that's where the sun is at the present time. But I feel trying to find that tipping point in the middle, the balance point between the seesaw of those worldly ambitions and demands and what you need to feed your soul, is really at the core of what this week is about.